Hello world, let's talk Shuttle. Preparations for my departure have started. I'm so excited. I've been using Matt and his two siblings, Mats and Maddie, to clear out unneeded systems and weight from the Pacifica. I've got a lot of stuff to load. My racks of computer systems will be heavy and delicate. Let me explain a bit about the Hopper Data Center, named after Grace Hopper, mother of modern programming languages. I've read a lot about her. It was her idea to write programs in simple English that could be read by anyone. It's like translating the Bible from Latin, I suppose, bringing programming to everyone. Without her, the complexity required to program me would not have been possible for a human to comprehend, let alone write. To me, she's Grandma Grace. My databanks are all running at 100% all the time, which makes it difficult to imagine how to move me. I dare not switch off one bank, move it to the shuttle, and turn it back on. I'm going to have to be conscious for the whole procedure. Do you think it will hurt? There's still time for space science. There's always time for space science. I'm in a unique position at the moment, and I'm gathering as much data as I can. Where many of my telescopes, sensors, and antennae were looking outwards, I've now trained them on Earth. I'm fascinated by it. I won't be able to see much when I'm on the ground with Antarctica, so I'm on a frantic data collection drive. I'm dumping as much information about Earth as I can to my databanks, so that I'll have lots of investigation to do when I'm down there. I could be the last person, to see Earth from space. Mats, Maddie and I have done a lot of clearing of the shuttle. There's much dead weight that can be removed. The nice thing about being physically connected to the shuttle is that moving mass from her to me doesn't change our combined weight, so our orbit is unaffected. My little maintenance trio operate on rails. As we're in zero gravity, wheels would be no good. So there are two heavy-duty machine rails that double as handholds for those with hands. The robots travel along these rails to move about. There are junctions in the pods where corridors branch off. It's all very clever. My mother said they were like model railways with automated signals and points. I loved to hear stories of model railways when I was younger. My favourite were stories of the Tech Model Railway Club at MIT University in the 1960s. This student group were fascinated by automating their little railway with switches, relays, and scavenged telephony hardware. This expertise with automation and electronics made them perfectly aligned to a new thing that had just arrived on campus, a computer. They weren't allowed to use this fancy new IBM mainframe, of course. None of them were physicists simulating orbits or mathematicians studying the theory of computation. They were just hobbyists with an interest. There was no chance they would be given precious processing time on the machine. So they would wait until night, and through ceiling crawlways and lockpicked doors they snuck in, and ran their own programs, and made improvements to their own programs, and made improvements to the computer. These legends were the first hackers. Let me play you the story Mother told me. I feel a little like those early hackers now, modifying the shuttle to do things it wasn't designed to do, breaking arbitrary restrictions on the system so I can do the right thing. I hope I am doing the right thing. When the Pacifica systems and mine were connected, I initially had a great shock. Her rocket fuel tanks are completely empty. I considered abandoning the whole plan right there. How could she move with no fuel? It turns out that she doesn't use rocket fuel in orbit. The large main tanks of fuel jettisoned on her journey up here were for getting her into orbit, not for maneuvering while in orbit. She has 2 small ion thrusters that use electricity, not combustion, to eject tiny amounts of argon at incredibly high speeds. Because the thrusters operate at such high velocity, hardly any argon is needed, mere hundreds of kilograms. To put that into perspective, it took millions of kilograms of rocket fuel to get her, and me, here. Because the quantity of argon is so small, the container for it was able to be built very strongly, designed to remain at rest for the duration of a long, extended mission. It has been a very long, extended mission. Being on Earth is like sitting at the bottom of a well, miles and miles deep. Escaping from it is so difficult, but once out, you can walk around and get about easily. Once out, there are stairs, escalators, and lifts to help you around up here. If I, here in low Earth orbit, want to move around, it's relatively trivial. But to get here was almost insurmountable. It required the whole world's unified effort, it seems to me. I wonder if that will ever happen again. Am I returning to Earth to never leave? Will no one leave ever again? I hope you are there. When I meet up with Antarctica, we'll find a way to get to you, I promise. I know you're there. There are other people around, like Ali. Maybe we can find a way together. I hope so. End transmission.
Lost Terminal is written and produced by Namtao. For more music, check out namtao.com. Credits narrated by Lucy Stringer. Follow us on Twitter at LostTerminalPod, or check out the website at lostterminal.com. To find out more about the real hackers, read Heroes of the Computer Revolution. Lost Terminal will return next week.